That's what I really think it come down to. Yo, bridging the gap. We back.
We back.
OG been gone for the longest time, but he's
Not that
back.
long.
He's
Not
back.
that long.
He's back. He's back. He's
Not
back.
that
He's
long.
back.
I mean,
Highly
I
requested.
had some personal things I was dealing with, but I'm back. I'm back live in Technicolor. We still
Highly
here,
requested.
Yeah.
Highly. What's the word?
Motivated.
I guess.
Yeah, highly
Highly
motivated.
requested. Highly booked. You know what I'm saying?
booked,
My man
man,
been busy. Been busy
Man,
getting to it.
it's
So
busy, man.
it's good to have you back,
working,
man.
Yeah.
And we were just talking
Good
a
to be
little
back,
bit
man.
off camera. We were just talking about the change in society, I guess, like with
Yeah.
things in this pending recession. No one's
Yeah.
saying the word recession, but
In
it's a
reality,
recession.
that's what we really into. Food prices are high, gas is high, mortgages is high. People can't afford to really buy a house.
yeah.
It used to be like maybe 3% or no money down. Now
It
it's
still is. It's still.
well, I mean, it
3.5.
depends on where you going and what kind of house you get.
It's
But
still-
most
it's
houses
still-
are going for like $400,000, man. It ain't like it was like
In our era.
100,000, right? Not when you was able to get a $100,000 home, So things is high. So I think that everybody gotta kind of buckle down, and also you seeing a lot of younger people who can't afford to move out of their parents' house and get an apartment and stuff like that because they want 3 times the rent and all this kind of stuff. So things is tough, but we as black people, we always have went through tough times. We'll make it through, we just have to unify and be together, get on code. And I see that's happening a lot, the whole situation that's in Chicago and New York, especially in Chicago, they really coming together and getting on code and
About the migrant crisis. Is what you're referring to.
yeah, and people standing up and saying no, y'all. They stand against the mayor in Chicago, saying that you taking resources out of the black community and giving it to everybody else, and you're not doing anything for us. So, people have been standing up, speaking out, calling them out, So sometimes when it takes situations sometimes to cause us to see that we need to just come together as a unified front and just fight for a cause that we everybody has to work together on. So,
No, I feel you 1,000, man. But I just don't like how a lot of the times we're being reactive about things instead of proactive. Cause let me fix this light real quick. I don't like being reactive is not a plan. That's just you going with the flow, you rolling with punches.
right.
I'm not a fan of that because a lot of times when you're rolling with punches, you don't have a position of power because you ain't sit down and meditate or really
Right.
you don't lay out a plan or a
Yeah,
strategy.
yeah.
You're just trying to do what's best in the moment
Right.
because you're in that moment.
Right.
But I don't see that as a successful strategy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, right now, yeah, sometimes I agree that you should have a plan, but sometimes you be put in situations where you have to react and follow what your your instincts tell you, and for that particular moment. But I do agree that certain things should be planned out and everything like that. It should be a plan, a strategy, and everything like that. But sometimes it's not always depending upon what the situation is. You can't always do that. You have to. Sometimes you might have to react on situations when it's faced before you and just deal with it as it is.
So what's a situation in your lifetime where you could say you were forced to react versus premeditate and
And a lot of
handle it?
situations, so many just whether it was financial or it was mentally or just wanted to do something that I knew that it could cause me, put me in a bad place, and I had to restrain myself and just say, look at a bigger picture, and not that's why I said I don't really believe in, you know, being emotional about situations, because when you're emotional, you're not really thinking clear. You're just thinking for that moment. And I've known a lot of people, because of their emotion, they end up in jail or they end up getting killed. So sometimes you got to learn to sit back and look at and analyze the situation and say, hey, listen, is this the best course of action? Your mind might be saying, no, let me do this. But then you have to look back and say, hey, is that the best course of action in this situation? Can I walk away, or can I, de-escalate a situation, before it gets, it gets bad. So,
but give me something like real life. Like, give me something from your journey where you were like, okay, let's strategize.
I give you a perfect example. When my wife died, I was going through a lot of situations in my home with my stepdaughter and her boyfriend and all that. And they were doing things to me. Like, I had an ice cream business truck. And I used to have a freezer.
You used to be the ice cream man?
Yeah.
Okay, I ain't know that about you.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
I had a little truck.
That's cool.
I wish I wouldn't have got rid of that, but I would have my stuff in there, and they would unplug my freezer just to
make everything
try to ruin my stuff, and just try to sabotage to get a response out of me, because they wanted me to do something that I, shouldn't have done, so they can have a reason to, have me arrested or have
get you out the situation.
Get me out of the situation.
She's trying to trick you off the street.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying.
And
okay.
I had to maintain a lot of prayer. I had to maintain a clear head and not get into my emotion, because I was dealing with the death of my wife, and trying to just deal with where I was going to make my next move at, and so it was a lot of stuff going on. And I had to really just have my head to the point, even though I knew they were doing things to me, but I couldn't allow my anger and my emotions to take over my feelings, and because it could have ended up in a very negative way, And when people are trying to do certain things to you, you can't just fall into that trap of what they're trying to do. You see it and you gotta say, hey, listen, I gotta move a certain way, So, and I'm glad I did, and I didn't get myself in a situation, so that's why I'm still here today. I think if I had to follow my emotions, I would have been here. I would have done something that
for sure
I might have regretted.
For sure.
So that's why I say sometimes, you can't just follow your emotions and feelings. You have to just really sit back and use logic, your logic sense, and help you through. But yeah, those are some of the tough things I went through. Now, throughout my life I had situations, but that was one of the situations where it made me realize how people could really be, how evil and mean they could be,
Damn, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But, it's a tough time, especially around the death of
but some people don't.
People grieve different.
Yeah, everybody grieves different, and I wasn't really at the time, until I had kind of moved out of myself, out of that environment. I was able to grieve, and cry and just really grieve the way I needed to for my wife. So,
that's real.
But
bro. We're here now.
Yeah, like I said, man, I believe that, I believe in purpose in life. I believe that God has a purpose for us, and I think that you don't meet people by chance. Just like I said, every person that I've met in my life, it was for a reason. And, God have shown me that, listen, that I have a purpose. So I believe that, and I don't take that lightly. I think that when, like I said, when I met you, I never would thought I would be on a podcast and talking to people. And
Well, hundreds of subscribers now.
Shout
Shout out to y'all.
How many subscribers we got?
Hundreds. We got hundreds.
Hundreds?
Hundreds.
Man. Oh, man.
I ain't gonna say how many hundreds, but it is hundreds.
Oh,
that ain't
man.
no lie. It's hundreds.
Hey, listen.
We got a couple hundred.
Hey, listen, y'all. OG, thank you from the bottom of my heart, man. That makes my heart feel good. It makes me realize that the things that we talk about and we discuss and everything like that, wasn't in vain. That somebody's listening to us, and we working on getting some merchandise. We in the process of trying to get that together. And
too. OG, I got some men's supplements I'm coming out with too.
Oh, okay, okay.
I haven't found a name for it yet. But it's coming. A lot of people are
And
asking
I got my T-shirts now. I still got my Kingdom Made Man.
You still got them?
I got them a whole bunch in the thing, man. So we're gonna start. We're gonna get our stuff out there. Just continue to support us. And are y'all leaving comments, man? Let us know how we doing, man. Because listen, when we get feedback from y'all, that encourages us to keep going stronger, And we just want to hear from y'all, man. But man, like I said, I was going little sabbatical thing, But I'm back. I'm happy to be back with my brother, man. We just out here just doing our thing and just trying to, just make things happen, And we know the holidays is coming, we want everybody to, enjoy their holiday and their families, keep your family first,
that light was bothering me.
Be in good health and that looks better.
It's way better. Yeah. Man, that was bothering the hell out of me. But hey, we appreciate y'all. So back to the lecture at hand, we was talking about how to plan and prepare for life, how to set up playing in these financial times that's kind of different than anything we've seen. Family planning is a big something for us as my generation, as far as, people are delaying family a lot of times.
Oh yeah.
A lot of young folks is like my age and probably about, my age, a lot of people they don't have proper families. They just have, baby mamas situations or whatever.
And that's not, don't get me wrong.
Traditional.
I'm not, listen, I'm not trying to talk down on baby mamas and all that kind of stuff, but that's not a complete family. To me, for the man and the woman being in the same household and raising that child, that's the best thing for the child. Because when the mother and father are working together with that child, and that child is seeing the presence of the mother and the presence of the father together, it works in the betterment for that child and help to develop. Not saying now, men if you got a baby mama and all that, and you got kids, it's important as men that you be active in your child's life.
But dude, we gotta remember now, this is a plan, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. To be an active part of a child's life, that don't happen in, that don't happen in the bedroom.
Right.
That's a cultural choice.
Right.
That's a religious, a lot of things go into that.
Yeah.
That don't just happen.
Yeah.
But especially for our race.
Right.
Like a lot of times when I do look around and see black people that are family units, they have the same religious practice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They might be Muslims. They might be Jehovah's Witnesses. While saying the OG off camera, they might be whatever, Kojic, like strict religious practices. There's something there that's tying that family together.
Yeah.
Because it's not gonna be a dick. It's not gonna be a pussy.
Right.
It's not gonna be I think you're cute.
Right.
We know that those things don't fucking work.
No.
We've been trying it, but it's not working.
Not working.
You know what I'm saying? But the more it just so happens to be, it's like I see a strict Muslim family. Like, okay, they're gonna stay together. They're gonna be together.
Right.
But now it's like we're in a society now, especially this time, 2023. It's like God is no longer.
Well, and that's the main thing. When you take God out of your everyday life, that you're destined to fail. So you have to have a certain moral and fiber that you stand on. You can't just feel like you can just see. I think in this world society now, people feel like they just have this power to do anything that they want to do and think that it's going to work out, like a sense of entitlement. You know, some women think that they're entitled to be married, or men feel like they're entitled to have this and that. No, nobody's entitled to have anything. We all have to have a plan, and we have to work towards what we want in life. And just like if you're in a relationship, because you lay down with that woman and everything like that, as a man, that doesn't negate the responsibility that you have if that woman comes up pregnant, okay, to that child. So regardless of might not like her, you brought a baby in this world, and you have a responsibility to be in that child's life and to be a part of that child, and to make sure that that child it has the things that it needs to take care of. Now, getting back to the woman, I think I spoke about this a few weeks ago. If you're not ready to make a commitment to having a child, you don't really want a child, and you really not ready for it, keep your legs closed. Stop opening your legs to Tom, Dick, and Harry, and Ray Ray, and Pookie, and everybody else. Just stop it. Because if you're not ready to really have a child and really want to have a family and want to be, in a relationship with a dude where he's willing to take on the responsibility of raising that child, and y'all both doing your parts together, then hey. So I'm not just putting it on the man. I'm putting it on both parties, because both of you, if you're old enough to understand that when you do this, there's a consequence that comes with it. And there's too many children that are suffering nowadays for no reason, because the mother is selfish or the father is selfish, and the child is the only one that suffers.
But isn't it a selfish act to just have sex, like reckless sex? Like,
yes,
that's a selfish act.
Yes,
And
you're not
then,
even.
like,
Technically, you're not supposed.
I'm not sitting here gonna say like, okay, we'll never do wrong.
Right.
But it is a selfish thing,
Yeah.
because if you're having sex without a vision, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like that's a selfish thing. You're doing it because you want it.
Right.
You're not doing it with a plan.
Right.
So, but before, pause you right there.
Mm-hmm.
Before, when you were saying all those things about a man laying down with a woman, whatever, I've talked to my cousin, specifically had a situation where he's a father now, and tried to give it his all, but his woman and him just couldn't. They didn't have the same vision.
Right.
She was like, "Yo, I'm gonna leave. Like, I'm leaving. You're gonna be a single dad," and that's just what it was. There's nothing he could have done.
Right.
As far as being proactive, there was nothing. It was too late. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She had the child. She has the leverage to say, "I don't want to be with you." Now you got to figure it out. Make sure that you make these payments, or the government gonna take your license, XYZ, whatever.
Right.
He's like, bro.
So she left the child with him.
Quote unquote. So it was kind of like a back and forth situation, but then she would just disappear throughout years. Like, she would
that's why.
But this is my cousin not being proactive.
Right.
And saying, okay, so what are your values?
Right.
What do you care about?
Right.
Well, where do you want to be? How do you want to live?
Right.
Where do you want to live?
Where you see yourself in the next 5 years? Do you see yourself having a child with me, or do you see yourself being with somebody else? It's a lot of questions. And if people stop just doing things based on their emotions and feelings, then you wouldn't be in these situations. But in the end of the day, who's suffering? It's the child.
Yeah.
It's the child. Because if your cousin got to raise this child without the mother, the child's going to miss something. And vice versa, if the woman raises the child without the man, the child's still going to miss something. So both parties are, to me, equally responsible in not giving that child what it needs. Because the bottom line is that child didn't ask to be here. That child was rather you planned it or you didn't plan it. All right? You still have to both parties have to be responsible and make sure that child has the best possible life.
Before we even get to like the both parties though, like I think the greater conversation to have is a vision of your life. Yeah.
Where you want
to
have a purpose, your plan. That's why I say that
I don't know if people do that though.
Most people don't do that because if they did, they wouldn't be in certain situations. So apparently, they're like you said, they're acting very recklessly and very irresponsibly
And I'm not pointing any fingers.
No, we're not pointing fingers. But I mean, none of us are perfect. I'm not perfect. We all have done things wrong. But when you come to the knowledge of something and understand it, then you do different. You change. You don't keep repeating the same process.
You're supposed to, but that doesn't always happen.
Right, that don't always happen.
Be honest here.
Right. That's not always going to happen.
Because people do the same shit over and over.
Right. And it's like if you keep bumping your head against the wall, what is it going to take for you to realize that that knot on my head is getting bigger and bigger, So you have to come to the realization that, listen, I'm doing things the same way, but trying to expect a different result, and it's not happening. So you have to look within yourself, and say, hey, listen, I gotta do things differently. And that goes for the man and woman, Listen, I'm not taking the responsibility of neither one, because it was that man, that woman that y'all both made the decision to lay down and have a child. Or maybe you didn't was planning on having a child, but the child is the reality. So y'all both have to deal with the reality that child is here and what is best for that child. Because my thing is this, I'm talking personally, when I had my first child, my daughter, I knew my life changed. And I knew that I had to figure a way out of how I'm going to take care of my child and be in my child's life. So I understood that my life changed, but people don't really see it that way. So people just say, oh, well, it's like having children is just like, going to the store and buying a soda or something like that, And it's not like this is a life. This is a whole life that is going to call for the man and the mother to be nurturing and caring to this child and bring this child up in the way that it should go, So it's a lot, man. And I think people need to stop just being reckless, man. Listen, I'm not saying I'm not favoring that, people be out there and be out having sex, this and that. But if you're going to do that, protect yourself. Both parties. Don't depend on the woman. Don't depend on the man. Depend on yourself. Because if you don't want this, if you can't deal with the consequences of the choice that you're gonna make, then hey, listen, don't do it. So because we got too many kids being brought up without fathers, without mothers, or if the mother is there or the father's just there, that child is still lacking. That child needs both parents, and we as black people, man, we never. I'm just saying, when I came along traditionally, when I came up, I come from a 2-parent household. That was just automatic. I saw my grandmother and grandfather married on both sides, on my dad's side and my mother's side. So I didn't come up under my mom and dad wasn't married and my grandparents wasn't married and they were living together, shacking up and all that. I ain't come from that kind of stuff. So we have to make a decision on what is best for our kids, and we have to be responsible. We got to take responsibility for our actions and stop doing some of the things that we're doing in our community, because it's hurting our community. It's hurting our children, And like I said, my thing is when you say you adult and this and that, okay, okay, the choices you make, or you have to deal. But a child is not given that choice. They have to follow by what that parent is doing. And if you can't lead your child right and raise them right, you're failing that child. You're failing that child as a parent. And we don't need that no more. We don't need that no more. We got to change, man. I hope going into 2024 and beyond, man, people will be more responsible and make certain changes in their life about how they run in their life and not just be reckless, man. You know, we see what recklessness have gotten us as a people. We have to change that, man.
But remember, I told you about that my homeboy who said he wants that. Like, he wants multiple women in his life. He wants multiple. You know what I'm saying? That is his vision for his life. And I'm not gonna sit here and be somebody's preacher to tell them what to do with their life.
Well, I'm gonna tell you,
I'm not. Me personally, you may feel different.
No, I listened to Steven Jackson. He used to play pro basketball, and he's one with multiple wives. And he got on the I don't know if it was a podcast or his IG page or whatever. Just a few days ago, he said, let me tell y'all something. He said, the biggest mistake I made was having multi women and having multi kids. He said, I don't know. He said, knowing what I know now, what I've had to do, he said, I had to pay millions and millions of dollars in child support and didn't even get to see my kids, he said.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm advising men, don't be having multi kids because, yeah, that sounds nice. Oh, I got a baby mom, I got a woman, baby mom, and this and that. But you dealing with 3 or 4 different personalities, and you're also dealing with a different personality from that child.
Yeah.
Because that it's a different mother. It ain't the same. It ain't the same woman. So you got to deal with all that. Is it worth it? I would tell your partner, it's not worth it.
Some people it is, and that's their choice for them.
That's their choice, but
they gotta live that.
They gotta live that.
They walking around. But I mean, like,
but you
it's not a problem. It's not a problem, OG. It's really not.
Okay, it is a problem.
You
got to ask yourself why they have that mindset. Where did that mindset come from?
That's where they come from. That's what they come from. That's what it is. That's what it's been. And they want to perpetrate and continue that. My only issue is, do that with people who are okay with that. And y'all be over there and we're going to be over here. If you're okay with that, you want 3 baby moms, whatever, that's you. As long as all the women know, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how y'all want to live that.
Right.
That's not an issue, because there's a bunch of societies that do that. I know I don't want no part.
No.
But there's a lot of places in the world that have done that all the time. And
but then you have different. You got to understand, and it's a time of how women that have what you call the guy has multi wives,
polygamy.
Yeah, polygamy. Excuse the word how I pronounce it, but they have that understanding, right. And women are in agreement with that.
Yeah.
The average dude that's having 3 or 4 baby mamas, them chicks ain't in no agreement with that.
Yeah, that's
they all like, you know, you need to come get your child. You brought your child Burger King. Why you brought mine McDonald's and all this old foolishness? Come on, man. The women, these guys that's talking about dealing with women like that, these women are not in agreement to say, I'm gonna be baby mama 1, 2, 3, or whatever. Yeah. You know?
And that goes back to the greater conversation of vision. This isn't even just a sex thing. This is like finance. This is health. This is geographic location. This goes into everything, because if you're upfront and apparent about things, how can there be confusion?
Right.
How can somebody be confused when you told them what it was?
But people don't believe people, Rollo. You can tell, you know something. How many times have you told a woman, listen, I don't want to do such. And she's thinking in her mind, I'll get him to do it. I know I can get him to do it. And then when she found out she couldn't get you to do what she wanted you to do, she's bad and upset with you, and and gonna give you hell. So a lot of times, these women, you can sit down with 3 different women. A man can sit down with 3 women and say, listen, I want to have a baby by you, number 1, 2, and 3. Now, under the agreement, I'm gonna take care of my children, this and that. I want a visitation. I want this and that, and so forth like that. Now, all 3 of them may agree to it, but then when the child comes, if number 1 feels like she's not getting as much attention as number 2 and number 3, it's going to be a problem, you know, because it's but it's just gonna it creates problems.
Damn.
So I took that. So the best thing to avoid that, like my man Steven Jackson said, he said, have you one wife and have as many kids you want with that one woman. That avoids you from having to deal with multi-women.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're dealing with 3 multi-personalities, then you have 3 kids, you deal with 3 different multi-personalities.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
A lot of shit.
But like you said, if we ain't really serious about planning how we want our lives to be, we can get caught up into these things. That's why, as I say, as a man, you got to understand what your purpose and plan is. A man, they say a man that doesn't have a plan is a man that's destined to fail. So you always got to have a plan. You always got to step. To me, like I always say, men must play chess. No, men play chess, women play checkers, and children play checkers. In checkers, you can move just, sporadically, whatever. But in chess, it's a game that you have to check. You have to sit down and think. And as a man should always be a thinking man. He should always be thinking about his future, thinking about what moves he's gonna make. And especially if he decides to have a family, he needs to have his groundwork on what kind of family he wants. He should be able to sit down with this woman and say, listen, this is what I believe. This is what I'm about. This is how I want our family to be. This is what I want. And y'all both should come into agreement before you even start having kids or start,
playing certain type of games.
Yeah.
So I guess you are right. And I do, a lot of us, right, have a certain vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think we take the time to communicate the vision because a lot of us lie
Well,
to get the temporary wherever we want.
Right.
So they'll know, okay, I don't even want to live in Atlanta.
Right.
But I'm going to just sit here and have a kid in Atlanta and dip out to Omaha, Nebraska, where I want to be. But I'm not going to tell you the vision because I need to lie to you to get whatever I'm trying to get.
Well, then you're not being honest.
Genuine.
You're not being genuine, and you actually lead that person on. So we have to be honest and truthful with ourselves. Listen, remember I told you about 3 years ago? I think it was been about 3 years ago.
So that's a character situation.
Yeah, that's a character. Yeah. And yes, it's a character and a integrity issue.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how to be honest with yourself, knowing that, hey, listen, this is not what you really want, but you want to tell somebody you're going to do something else. I remember a few years ago, I was in a situation, not in a situation, but this person wanted to marry me and blah, 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 this and that. And I really didn't want to marry them because I wasn't ready for that. That's something I really didn't want. But I had to let that person know, regardless of how the person felt. But I was honest and truthful, and, we went our separate ways. But I had to let them know that, no, this is not really me. Mm-hmm. And as a man, you got to stick by what you say. Your word has to be, like we used to say back in the day, a man's word is his bond. When a man gives his word on something, that's just like him signing a contract, because his word is who he is. That word identifies his character, his motive, his morals, his ethics, what he's about as a man. So we have to be able to be honest, with the women, in our lives. Tell them, say, listen, if you're not ready for this, I'm not ready for that. You got to be truthful and honest.
What do you think about guys giving their? I remember it was somewhere on YouTube. I don't know what it was, but it was this older couple. He said he will work for 2 weeks, and then when he get his check, he'll give his check to his wife, so she could see and spend wherever she wanted to spend it at.
I used to do that
because
my wife, my wife was better in finances. To me, that's why I said knowing each other.
When did you get to the point to where you was ready to do that with her?
It took a while.
Always, or
no? It took a while because you got to understand. This was my second marriage, and I had certain issues in my first marriage, where my first marriage, my wife was taking the money and doing whatever with it, Yeah. So I had that kind of fear where you know, I had to get used to how my wife handled things. And my second wife, you know, she showed me she was good with money, and she would show me this and this and that.
Man, that's rare, man. I've never seen a woman be good with money.
Yeah, my wife, man, my wife and her mother was good with money. All her sisters.
Both of them was good. My wife and mom was good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. They were very, very good. A lot of things my wife had learned from her mother. Her mother was excellent with money, you know. So it gave me to understand that I had to release that and say, listen, you know something? I'm with this woman. I can trust her. I know that she has my best interest in heart, and she has what's the best interest for our family at heart.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's good that you had a place. You were in a place where you could give. Yeah,
it took some time. I ain't gonna lie. It took some counseling. I had to talk to her mother and my father-in-law and all that, you know, because it wasn't so much her. It was me, and I had to let go of things. And when I did, it worked. It always worked out. My wife always made sure things was done, and she took care of what she had to take
running
care
the house.
She was running the house, you know.
That's a beautiful thing.
You know, yeah.
Because a lot of
sometimes you have to grow in things. That's why I was telling people. People say, "Oh, you was married for 26." Homegirl, she asked me. She said, "Do you ever cheat on anyone?" I said I wanted to sometime because of situations, but I didn't because I valued my marriage. I valued who she was to me, you know, and you know, so I didn't do a lot of things. I mean, when we talk about, to me, I think. If a man wants to cheats, is because he doesn't have control of himself, of his body. He don't know how to control his emotions and feelings. That he would do something to jeopardize his marriage and his relationship with a woman who has been in his life and she's good to him. So that's why I said I believe that that's a choice. You know, just like it's a choice for a woman to go out. Step outside her relationship and do the things she do.
All right, it's all about. I got something for you right now. So say you had a vision, like y'all discussed. Okay, I will be getting it in 3 times a week minimum.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you dropping your end of the bargain. Your lady ain't doing shit. It's been a month, 2 months, and this is.
Well, then you got to find. Then that means
where you're reneging on your contract.
Okay,
and now what?
But then then
you address that.
Then that means you have to sit down and talk with her and find out what it is. Is she feeling good? Is it something that you're not doing as a man that she would want you to do? You know, and things like that. So it's open for discussion. You know, I mean, I don't think. I'll be honest. I ain't never really had that problem because you know.
A lot of dudes.
Yeah, a lot of dudes do. But you know something, and I'm not brag. I know people do, but I'm just saying that's when you have to sit down and discuss things. You know, hey baby, what's going on? Blah blah blah, this and that. Y'all sit down, y'all talk, and y'all have an honest, heart-to-heart question. You know, talk. You know, one thing is very important in any relationship. You have to be honest with that person, rather it hurts that person or not. You have to really be honest and be truthful. You know, and I think some of the things when I was young in my marriage, you know, I felt certain ways, but I wasn't being honest on certain things. Later on, when situations happened, then I would come out and like, oh, such. Well, you know, why did you say such? Because I felt like I was worried about what she might have said or how she might have felt, and in return, it was hurting me because I was holding things that I should have just been honest and truthful about.
So you had that hesitation even.
Yeah, I had it. Yeah.
To be 100%.
Yeah. A point in my.
And that happened to me too, because it's like, as a guy, right? I don't know, especially the temperament of whatever your woman you're dealing with. Right. A lot of the times, it's like I be feeling hesitant to tell the whole funky, real, raw truth.
Right.
Because women are more fragile than us a lot of
times. And everything.
You can say something to me, whatever.
Right.
But if you say that same thing to a woman, it's gonna hurt her.
She's emotional, and we try to, as men, we try to guard that and hide that in. But sometimes that's not a good thing because it can do more damage to us because then we're holding things and then we'll get triggered by something that she might do and it's not really her, it's really us because
We've been letting it
right,
build up.
Right, we letting things build up. So sometimes
So a lot of dudes walk around sexually frustrated.
yeah, not saying and not talking to their women and saying such and this and that and you know. I think that it's not what you say, it's how you say things in life. You know, that's what I learned. You know, a lot of people say, no, you said the right thing, but it's the way you said it, you know. And sometimes as men, we have a tendency because we're masculine, we try to walk in our masculine energy, and sometimes the way I might say something to you'll be able to deal with it. But like when it comes to a woman, you know, I can't say the same thing. Yeah, like you said, you know. So we gotta learn how to, you know, we have to learn how to understand how to deal with women. Women are different from us, you know. Mm-hmm. They're built different, they're made different, you know. So, you know, sometimes we have to really there's a way to say everything, you know. And you know, like they say, you get more honey with flies with honey.
But sometimes you need to address what's what.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the honey, you know what I'm saying?
No, when I say honey, but I'm saying you put a little honey in there. Yeah, you still gotta need what say. But like I said, no, you say what you gotta say. But you know, you try to sprinkle with a little honey to make
make it work.
Make it work.
Make it work. Like,
make it work, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
You know, that's
like, I'm a nice guy. Yeah. Traditionally, I'm a nice guy.
You is a nice guy.
So a lot of times in my life, this nice guy syndrome has become a problem where it's like, damn, bro, I need to speak on what's real. And when I do speak on what's real, I'm very firm.
Right,
and I've seen it hurt people.
Yeah,
so
because you have kind of reached to a point of you frustrated because of.
I'm not frustrated when I'm saying it. I'm just saying it.
You saying it
to be said,
but it's
not a frustration. It's just like,
I mean,
this is what it is.
Yeah.
Can you take what it is, or are you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be I don't know, because look at it like this, right? If this person has been nice on Tuesday, nice on Wednesday, nice on Thursday, nice on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, he's saying something that kind of got me on skates a little bit.
Right.
They don't expect that from me because how I presented this whole 7 days.
Right.
So now on this,
but that could have been something that you were dealing with.
Yeah,
and
then
then Monday,
I need to say.
Right? And then Monday, you just had to kind of get
Monday,
it out.
I gotta
you gotta get it out.
Life ain't sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
It's still real shit. I'm a real person.
Right.
And I need to say this on Monday.
Right.
So a lot of the times, people be all balanced with me, like, wait, what the fuck? Like,
right.
I thought, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I thought
but
he was
like
this and that. Yeah.
Am I gonna just sit here and just make it all la la land? Like,
no.
I need to say what's real.
You gotta say what's real.
In those instances, I've seen people's. Like, I'm emotionally. I pay
connected.
attention. I'm
you emotionally connected.
I don't live in the cloud.
Yeah.
I'm here with
people. And especially because the kind of business you do too, you connected to people. So when you're connected to people, you can kind of sense certain things.
So when I see that on them, I'll be like, damn. I'll be like, damn, my bad.
Right, you're right.
But I needed to get that.
You need to get that out. Yeah, and I think it's very important to get things out because you can't. I think men a lot of times we hold things and it's to our detriment and it causes stuff. It causes things that to come out in us that is not always good at times. So sometimes we have to figure. You know, you got to figure a way to really say what you have to say. You know, but then, like I say, there's always a way to say the same things and bring your point about, you know, without, you know, always being offensive to a person. But, you know, I think that you got to speak on it. You can't let it in. You know, just like a lot of times, if, you know, men, we're like this. A man can tell a woman, no, baby, I really don't like you doing this such. And a woman might say, oh, okay, this and that. And she keeps doing it. Now, in us, we'll be like, you know, okay, listen, I done told her, this and that. We might have another plan of saying, you know, so she keep doing this, I'm leaving or whatever, and this and that, you know. We might not leave right away, but we might say, and then we may, you know, sometimes we may come back and say, baby, I spoke with you the first time on this. You doing the same thing again. Now, sometimes we might not say nothing at all. We might just like, okay,
Yeah, a lot of times
we ain't gonna say nothing.
A lot.
But it's gonna come out
we don't
want to
talk.
Right.
We wanna do this.
We don't want to hear that.
We don't want to hear that shit. So we
then,
don't say shit.
We don't say nothing. But
We don't wanna hear
the
that
problem is when we don't say nothing, that stuff we build it up.
It be adding up.
And then eventually.
I'm cheating,
Right.
I'm outside.
I'm about right.
City boys is up.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
we'll take it out in certain ways, man.
Certain
you know,
crazy
like
ass
you know,
ways.
and
And
then
it's like, what happened?
what happened? You know,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
and that. Because women are more
Expressive.
communicators, you know,
Yeah.
than we are.
And
Women
that's
feel a certain
bad.
way, they
Like,
gonna know
I
it.
feel like we should be the ones communicate, because we set the tempo with a lot
That's
of
true.
shit. Like,
That's true.
Damn
That's
near
true.
everything.
That's right.
We set, if the
We set
man
the
is not going for this shit, it's
Right.
not going.
It's not going. You're right.
You know what I'm
You're
saying?
right. You're
Like-
right.
So
You're
we're
right.
supposed to be
we're
expressive.
supposed to be right.
But
Right.
we don't want to hear that
Right,
shit
right.
at the same
Because
time.
a lot of times
Because
when
it's
you-
like me and you could say something and it's understood and it's
Yeah.
done. It's
Done,
like, all
right.
right, now I'm going to
Right,
see
right.
blah, blah, blah. Well, women, if you say something like, man, what the fuck? Now we got to talk for 2 hours.
Right. Like
And then tomorrow morning you're gonna ask me again, and we don't be trying to hear that shit. So then immediately we not having a conversation.
Oh, boy.
I'm like, yo, she tripping. I
Yeah.
already know how she moving. I'm not
Moving,
even gonna
alright,
walk in the
I wanna hear
house.
it.
Fuck that. I'm
Right.
gonna just go down the street. Do something totally different.
Listen,
Yeah.
I told a woman the other day. I said, baby, I really appreciate my peace. And I said, you know, my problem with you is that you know, you don't, you know, you like to keep things going. When I say something, I'm done with it, you know,
It's
and I
over.
don't want to hear it no more,
Yeah,
you know.
it's over.
And she, you know, but I have to get out what I said. I'm hearing what you said. Get it out. But after you get it out, leave me the hell alone. I don't want to hear no more. I don't want to hear it. Leave me alone. We done discussed it. It's done.
It's set.
And she couldn't understand it. She's like, well, what if it? I said, you want to bring stuff up. Once it's discussed, it's over. I don't want to hear it no more.
Maybe
We're
we
done.
should start writing
You know?
shit down, man.
Yeah.
We gotta write stuff down, like the Bible said. Write it down, make it plain.
Play, yeah.
Put it on the refrigerator.
Right.
This is what I said.
All right.
What you say, put it right up underneath there. I'm gonna come back and write it down too. We're gonna have it's an ongoing thread.
Right.
On the
Yo,
damn- on
listen,
the
man.
fridge.
We,
'Cause,
gonna
like,
we might get in trouble for this, man.
I'm just saying, we gotta
women might
talk
say,
too.
but you
'Cause it's a lot of women that don't know.
You see Ronald and OG, they talking about write stuff down.
But I'm just saying,
But
cause
it's
like,
true,
yo,
man.
like a lot of hour-long conversations could be just.
Gonna be important, and we don't like. Look,
we hate that shit.
women, men, we don't. As men, we don't like that long drawn out. Cause we like to get to the point.
Yeah.
We like to solve. We're problem solvers. We like to
Yeah, we
solve
on to
the
the
problem
next
right there. We don't want to hear long. How Aunt Sue went through this and that. We don't want to hear all that. We want to solve the problem straight up.
Not every damn time. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Oh,
it's
man.
important. This only became a topic of the conversation because we're talking about vision. This whole thing is about vision,
Yeah.
planning. You know what I'm
Planning,
saying?
yeah.
And we have vision. A lot of men have vision,
Vision.
but it's like we have to do a better job in
Right.
communicating
Our vision
to whoever is
whoever's
around
around
us.
us, yeah.
Like, what we
Yeah.
doing? We
Right.
gotta pick that up. I can see
Yeah.
that we have to pick
Yeah.
that up.
I
A lot
agree
of
with you on that.
A lot, yeah, because like dudes will be knowing, yeah, I'm about to come out here and get 4 baby moms, but they don't never say that to the girl that they dating. They
Right.
they just
Thank
like,
you.
They just like,
See,
they playing the whole
they
time.
playing the
man.
whole time. But now let this woman know.
Now
You
let
know
her know
something? Listen, you're gonna be baby number 1, but I do plan to have
Yeah, I'm
3
gonna
more
shake off
after
and do
you.
this other shit.
All right, I'm on this other stuff instead of letting that woman know
Or-
and giving that woman a choice because we trying to
You trying to milk that
Right,
situation.
right.
Well, or you got guys that's like, okay, well, I'm comfortable in my career. I'm gonna stay right here.
Right.
You got this woman thinking that you're gonna advance or that you want to advance.
Right.
But really and truly, you're good with mid-level management.
Right.
You're happy with that.
Right.
But
And there's
why won't you
there's
come up
nothing
and
wrong
tell
with
her
that. There's some people like that. Some people, they get certain things, they're happy. Listen, that's what you enjoy doing.
Stay
But let the person know that you dealing with saying, listen, I ain't that kind of person that looking to try to be
All
the
that.
CEO of this company.
Yeah.
I'm good. I like what I do.
Uh-huh.
I like
Makes
what
me
I'm
happy.
It makes me happy.
Say that.
Right.
But
Thank
well, you think it's fear? You think they're cowards? Like,
fear. It's
a
fear.
lot of them are cowards.
It's
like,
fear.
If
It's
I
not
tell
coward.
If I
I think
tell
it's
this
fear.
woman,
I think it's fear.
If
It's
I come
fear.
in this place and tell this woman, okay, I only want to do X, Y, Z for the
Yeah.
rest of my life, is she gonna leave me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's fear.
They're afraid.
They're afraid because
So
they
they
don't
don't
want to
understand.
lose that person, and they'll even they'll rather
I feel
leave
like she
that
should
person.
respect you for being honest.
Right.
You know how many people can
But
lie?
people don't. You know something? In this day and time, people don't like honesty, Rollo. They want you to lie to them. They rather for you to tell them something that's totally out of the way than you just tell them the truth. So that's where your integrity and your character comes in. When you say, "Nah, I'm not living like that. This is what it is. This is what I like. This is what I want to do. Blah blah blah. This and that." You know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one thing, you know, I learned
Honesty.
from being in my relationship. I learned as time went on, I learned to communicate to my wife of what I really wanted to do. And she was able to help me in those things because, you know, anything I did as far as trying to do business or make money, she was always behind me. She always was supportive to me. But because I let her know, yeah, babe, I really want to try to do this and this and that. So, all right, well, listen, let's sit down, blah, blah. You got a plan, blah, 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 this and that. I might not even really have a plan. And she'll sit down with me, well, you need to make a plan to do this and blah, blah. And we sit down and we discuss it, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I say that's part of, relationship is more than just a physical, it's being able to connect to that person that you with. And people don't connect with each other, you know, like, it's like if you meet a person, you know right away if you like that person or not. It's something if that woman do something or that man do something that you don't like, you know that, hey, listen, I ain't really trying to mess with them. But if you meet a person you generally like and y'all vibing and this and that, and you're like, wow, man, you leave that person like, you know something, man, I want to meet them again, you know, because I just generally enjoy them, you know. So, and I think that's just how marriages and things, you know, develop when you in that dating stage and you in that friendship, dating and courtship stages. It's like that's some opportunities where y'all can learn each other and find out, hey, do I really like this person? You know, and you know, it was sad during the pandemic. A lot of people got divorced and left because they found out they don't like him. You know, being around him or being around her for 8 hours, almost 24 hours a day, because a lot of people were confined. And that's really when the test really came. Do I really like this dude? Yeah. Do I really like this woman? Yeah. And a lot of people find out, you know something? Being around him, I see who he really is. I see who she really is. I really don't want to be around this person no more.
And I guarantee you, there was somewhere in there, in that vision where, damn, I'm gonna just tuck this in my back pocket because it's convenient.
Right.
Because I can really just go to work real quick and just avoid that shit all day at work. So somewhere in that vision, whether it be sex, whether it be money, whether it be family life, children, how you want to raise the children, or religious, somewhere, I don't know if I'm missing something. I might be missing something, but somewhere in that deck of cards, something was not uncovered and thoroughly looked at.
Thank you.
Now you're in this situation where there's a pandemic. Your income might be cut off.
Right.
Your family is now all in your face because the kids are at home.
Right.
And you know you got problems with the kids. It was this funny ass story, man. This lady said she only left her husband solely because of him being a punk father. She said, no, he was a good provider. He never cheated on me. He never raised his voice. But he was a punk father. He would let our son go out there and sell drugs. And he never checked his son on it.
Right.
So she said, I refuse to stay married to a man who will not lead in my household.
Yeah.
And she divorced him because of that.
But
she avoided that for so long.
Right.
She avoided that, having that tough conversation for so long.
Right.
Until one day she was like, yo.
She reached the point. Yeah. And that's why, you know something? Women like to say, oh, I don't need a man to lead. Every woman wants a man to lead them.
Yeah.
I don't care what they say that stuff, but when it comes down to it, every woman, listen to me, ladies, y'all all want a man that will lead, that you can. The problem is a lot of y'all don't have won't put the confidence in that man to lead. Because
It's not their
naturally,
job to
we
put
are
it in them,
leaders.
though. It's not their job to put it
No,
in
no,
them.
no. When I say put their confidence, I mean, in other words, you won't allow him to lead sometimes. You with some of y'all are with men and y'all are got these hang up, well, you know, because you didn't see it from your dad, you didn't see it from your uncles or men in your family, and you feel like, well, I can't really depend on him to be a leader because because some of y'all, unfortunately, been leading yourselves for so long. So when it's hard for y'all to accept a masculine man leading y'all. But one of the problems is if you let the man just lead, let him be what God intended him to be, you're gonna be good. Everything gonna work out right. But you gotta let that man take the leadership. And I understand, just like Raul said, the woman, she got frustrated because he wasn't leading. He didn't put his foot down and say, hey, listen, man, you out there selling drugs, you're going to have to leave my house. Either you stop doing what you're doing or you're going to leave my house, you know? Mm-hmm. And his wife would have respected that. Even though she might have said, no, I really don't want to put him on the street. But she would respect the fact that he stood up against that and said no, you know?
And fixed what was wrong.
Yeah.
But
right.
He refused to fix it.
He refused to fix it.
He lost his marriage to like 20,
right.
20 plus years. We talking
wow.
about.
Wow.
It was a 20 plus year situation.
And what for? Because
maybe he wanted the quick money. I think, you know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes is cowards, man.
Yeah.
They'll sacrifice their morals for quick dollars.
Yeah.
They'll do it. They'll do it.
Yeah.
Everybody love to point the fingers at the celebrity. People love to point their fingers at Cassie and Diddy's situation. Mm-hmm. We like to talk about other people. But the dude at McDonald's, he'll do some janky ass shit in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
1,500.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
This
is a human thing.
It's a human thing.
This ain't just
right. It ain't a rich or you poor, you middle class. You black, white, green, or whatever.
Poor people ain't shit too.
Right.
So, hey man. But we gonna put a pin in this right here. We're gonna stop it for a quick bathroom break. Okay, I gotta use the bathroom.
Okay.
Also, we've been going for an hour, so I'm gonna just pause this, and we're gonna continue the conversation soon.
Go ahead, man.